Do you think Floor 7 Party Finder sucks? Really, because it does? Are you one who has lackluster gear, but the skill makes up for it? And hated by parties because you don't have max gear when you're just trying to get your first F7 comp? If all this sounds like you, then maybe you should try soloing this floor for your first comp. Believe it or not, this is actually all the gear you need for your first F7 comp. Obviously, you'd use the Juju Shortbow for your main weapon. You'd use the Wand of Atonement for healing. Dungeon Orb, because of its abilities as an archer, are extremely OP. Rogue Sword, because speed matters in this fight. AOTV and Grappling Hook for movement in the clear. Won't really help in boss, though, since they're disabled. Florid Zombie Sword for panic healing. Super Boom for secrets. Gloomlock Grimoire for instant healing. Diffuse Kit for Trap Room, Bonzo Staff, and Jerry's Sheen Gun. Make sure Jerry's Sheen Gun has Alt Ys on it for movement in the boss fight. And then Bonzo Mask, you don't need Last Stand on it. That's more of a Master Mode upgrade. But obviously for surviving things that would normally kill you. 2/4 Shadow Assassin, since that's the best damage set you can get pre-F7. Young Dragon Boots with Necrotic for extra speed and mana, which is very useful for the Jerry Sheen tech. Soul Reaver Gloves, Black Belt, Shadow Assassin Cloak, and Rift Necklace are the best equipment pieces before F7, and probably for the rest of your dungeon career. Unless you want to use Bone Necklace and Adaptive Belt, but that's just personal preference. You actually only need 2 pets for this floor, which are the Blue Whale Pet at Legendary for EHP, since that's very important in the boss fight, since EHP is better than DPS. Your pet item should be the Dwarf Turtle Shellmet for anti-knockback, but if you have your Shellwise attribute maxed, then you can just basically use whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. You also need a Spider Pet to slow down Golder so you have more time to do terminals. You need this to be Epic or above because Epic and above are the only ones that have a 40% slow rate. Without further ado, let's get on to the boss fight. Most importantly, the best kata levels to do this at are between 25 and 28. My first was at 26, but depending on your skill level and your practice, you can vary. If you want those extra catacombs levels for more stats, just go for the extra catacombs levels. When I first go to the boss, I immediately go to one of the crystals and Jerry Sheen up, and I turn just so I don't get pushed away from the crystal. And I make sure to do this before the fight even starts. If you're doing this for your first completion, I really recommend to clear first. You'd rather have one slow and good 30-minute run than like 500 bad 15-minute runs. As you see here, I Jerry Sheen up the crystal again, making sure to not push myself away. Then I bring him to the laser. Maxter's most deadly attack was what you saw right there, where he stays stationary and throws Wither Skulls at you, which do a lot of damage. And then strafe so you take less damage, but do not do what I did here and attack him fast. Do not do that. And then this is why I like to use Bonzo Mask, which is the whole reason I use the Shadow Assassin set over the Superior Dragon set, because you can have other armor pieces. But I've heard Superior Dragon armor also works. Like, it's personally just personal preference. If you want to use Superior Dragon armor for the extra EHP and other stats, use Superior. But if you die very often and need the Bonzo Mask, then use the Shadow Assassin set, since Superior is mainly good because of its full set bonus. So if you're more skilled, just go with Superior. And then I run him to the laser again, and strafe to make sure I don't get hit. And then I actually walk away before hitting him this time, which is what you should do. Now I'm entering into phase 2, where I clear yellow and green first. And just make sure to clear everything around them. When you see that timer on your screen, you have to get under a pillar or it will insta-kill you. If you're trying to crush fast, you have to look at around the red pillar, and when you see the Wither Skulls on your screen, you have to crush the thing, but since it didn't fully crush, Storm didn't crush. But since this is a tutorial for first completion, I don't recommend going fast. I recommend slow and controlled. By slow and controlled, I mean more clearing before you actually do the crushing, since this is the best way to learn without taking a billion damage. Now I'm going to show you the easiest way to crush, which I barely see. From my experience, the sweet spot is when he does his fireball attack, wait for the third one to land, and then do the crushing. And then lead him into the pillar. This, in my opinion, is the easiest way. Sometimes it does fail, because the AI is not the best. But it's all about trying and trying with this fight. Because you're meant to do it with a 5-man party, but solo it's harder. And you see here how when he does his first fireball, I start to lower it. The second one, I start to lower it. And then the third one, when the third one lands, that's when I fully crush it. Because I've learned that he either does 3 or 4 fireball attacks. So when the third one lands, that's a sweet spot. And then I just do the rest of the DPS, and boom. As you see here, I swapped a spider pet for the terminal since it's the best pet to slow down Golder. When I drop, these are my terminal arts as follows with little lava bouncing. So first terminal, I just do this, do that. Then I Jerry Sheen up without having to go in the lava. And then that, and that, and that, and... Yep, finally got it. For the Simon Says device, when I press the button and it's preparing the next one, I like to shoot Golder to slow him down, and then I do the buttons, then I go back to shooting him. And this is why solvers are super important for this one. So that I can shoot Golder without being distracted. And then when I shoot him, I don't even have to pay attention. This part of Phase 1 is the only part where lava bouncing is actually an issue, but if you have to lava bounce, use the Gloomlock Grimoire just because it's instant healing. Then I just grab the levers, and Phase 1 of Terms is done, which in my opinion is really easy. Phase 2 was actually pretty hard for like a first attempt. This one took me a lot of attempts, and most of my runs ended here when I was practicing, and then I Jerry Sheen up to lights. Just make sure it's the 2 middle ones and the 4 corners, and then I shoot him again to slow him down. Then I go over to third terminal. Now it's a Melody. Melody is the worst terminal. Everyone knows that. Then what I like to do is drop down here. Not the way I did. That's the most newbie way to do it. And then I just do this terminal. Then I go over here, do this terminal. And then what I like to do is I like to Gloomlock Grimoire and look up so that I don't get stuck on the bottom. And then I shoot him again to slow him down. So then I Jerry Sheen up to the top so I don't have to lava bounce from the bottom. Usually that would work, but, like, obviously I'm not the best player, so, like, I'm not perfect. Then now it's just Phase 3 of Terms, because Phase 4 is extremely easy, so this is the last real phase. The only real mods you need for terminals are any good terminal solver like SkyTills, and any mod where it blocks out incorrect clicks. Because, like, we all have to go fast, and we're not trying to be here all day. And the blocking out incorrect clicks is very useful here, so that you can spam and don't even have to think. And then I like to shoot Golder again. Then do the Melody, because Melody is the most annoying one, even though these are all random, but still. Then Grimoire after I take the lava hit, and then I Bonzo over. And then now it's just Phase 4 of Terms, which is very easy if you let him pass. Then I just do the term, and then I Grimoire again, because it basically negates the lava damage. And then I Jerry Sheen up to arrows first, just so I don't have to bounce up there later. Mods also really help with this one to show which ones you've already shot, so that it makes it a bit faster. And then since we're already up here, we take the path. Take it flawlessly, not like me. This is not the best footage, but whatevs. And then I go over here, and then I do the 2 levers, and then I shoot Golder again to slow him down. And then I do this terminal. And then now, since you don't really have a lot of time, the best strategy is to let him pass. So I shoot him, and then I brace. Make sure my Bonzo is ready. Which is why another good one is timers for your Bonzo mask, just to make sure you don't accidentally nuke yourself. So what I like to do is I Bonzo, and then I wait. Because he won't start damaging you. And then we wait here longer than it takes GTA 6 to release, and then we just make sure he's far enough so that we don't accidentally touch him and die instantly, because our Bonzo's not back up yet, obviously. Then I just do that last terminal, like so. My terminal routes aren't perfect, but you can make your own, but these are just the ones that I found to be the best, and then I swap back to my blue whale. Then I go here. And the best strat for Golder that I found is to strafe when you hit him, because if you stay in one place, you're going to die instantly, so strafing makes it better. See here how I strafe, and then I take, like, no damage, and then I strafe around him. And boom, Golder's dead. Now it's just Necron. Then I fall. The Bonzo Staff jump is just symbolic, in my opinion. It's just hilarious, and that's why I just like to do it, not for anything. And then when I hit, I Florid, just so I can actually get over here. And boom, and then I lag back for some reason. And then the literal rest of the fight is just hitting him. Like, once you've gone to the ledge, you've literally guaranteed victory. And then just shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Like, as long as you remain consistent DPS on him, you should be fine. And use your left click dungeon orb ability to speed this up. My only real recommendation is to try to stay on the edge of the ledge, just so that when Necron does his attack where he breaks the floor, you won't be affected. And I just keep shooting him. And then with that, floor 7 solo is on one done. Obviously, if this is your first hop, you don't want to Bonzo over just so that you don't accidentally die in the last stage of the fight, but I do everything symbolically. And boom, now you have your first F7 comp and now can upgrade into stronger gear. If y'all found this guide helpful, at least consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. You don't have to, but I'm just recommending it. And that is me signing off.